LMD Magazine and EFM present Biz Talk, taking an in-depth look at today's biz landscape.
Welcome to another edition of LMD EFM Biz Talk. We caught up with Dr. Ravi Fernando of the INSEAD Business School, Mr. Ashok Abhigunawardena, the chairman of the Strategic Enterprise Management Agency attached to the Presidential Secretariat, at Subramaniam Easwaran, the deputy chairman of Easwaran Brothers at the second session of Bizmeet 2016, organized by the Junior Chamber International Sri Lanka. To begin with you, Dr. Fernando, what exactly is green business and how is it connected to sustainability?
Sustainable business and green business is actually one thing, but let me explain sustainability first, because if we understand that, understanding green business is quite easy. For any business to be sustainable, it must take decisions to do with economic profit, having considered the impact of its decisions on environmental sustainability and consider its decisions on social sustainability in a manner that it does not harm the environment but helps social progress. So when one talks of green business, one is really talking of business that is done in a sustainable manner. So for companies to do business in a sustainable manner, it must then have leaders who understand what we call the triple bottom line. Most businesses are focused on a single bottom line. We call it the economic profit bottom line. But triple bottom line business is taking economic profit decisions, having understood the impact of its decisions on the environment, therefore environmental sustainability, and also looking at how we can contribute to social sustainability. So then you have the triple bottom line: economic profit, social sustainability, and environmental sustainability. So green comes in the environmental part, right? And CSR, people talk about CSR a lot. CSR is one of the elements of sustainability in the social sustainability side.
Mr. Abhigunawardena, there are quite a few development initiatives underway in the country, and you're a part of the larger policy and strategy-making body attached to the government of Sri Lanka. How considerate are you in accommodating this green philosophy in larger projects?
If we are moving away from the conventional development towards sustainable development, we call it green. It should be a sector-wide approach as a country, and we don't need to follow the same path followed by the developed world, as that leads to a disaster. So in this case, in each sector, we should have a different approach altogether and come up with a new mechanism to promote the businesses in the country. So in that, within that perspective, from the Sri Lankan side, now we need to understand to move away from the reductionist approach, which was concentrating only one aspect or one factor. Instead of that, we need to think of the whole system. So let's consider what's happening in the country. In the agricultural sector, as we were only concentrating on the high-yielding varieties, what we need to follow was to use more and more chemical agriculture, which leads to some environmental issues. So moving away from chemical agriculture to natural farming, we need to have a basis for that. We need to ensure that we will be giving the same nutritional level, same harvest, but at the same price. If not, then it's not possible to make it mainstream. So to remove those barriers and for the natural farming, now we have shifted away from chemical fertilizer subsidy towards farmer subsidy, which gives the freedom for the farmer to go for the other options. Now, similar things happening from the government side in the transport sector. There was a rapid move from public transport towards private transport, if possible, for going for cars, motorbikes, three-wheelers. Now, if we are to have a green approach towards that, then we need to strengthen the public transport. So for public transport promotion, we need to identify what went wrong. What went wrong was that the competition between the buses, so that they need to get more and more passengers into the bus, otherwise they won't be able to get that revenue. So a shift needs a different mechanism. What we are trying to introduce in the near future is to shift away from the passenger-based income towards the turns-based income, for which we will be having new techniques like prepaid cards and stuff, so which will lead to a new setup. So similarly, in all these sectors, we need to have a system in place so that the individual enterprises can play their role for greening the industry.
Mr. Iswaran, when it comes to Iswaran Brothers, a traditional family-held business, how exactly did you manage to embrace green business within the tea industry?
In about 2007, one of the things that we did was we were looking at what were the core values of our company. We're quite an old company. It was started by my grandfather in 1943, and we had grown the tea business to a certain size, but we were now looking to see, okay, what is different about us? There are so many companies ending with brothers in the tea industry. I'm sure you know of very many famous ones. So we couldn't really see what was different about us. Of course, except the fact that we were maybe based in Grand Pass, and another company was based somewhere else, and it was run by our family as opposed to another family. So when we really looked into ourselves, we realized that we were a company that cared deeply about the community around us. That's the way my grandfather had bought the company up. Those were some of the core values that he had laid down for us. And we thought, okay, we are this. This is who we are. How do we make that a natural differentiator for us? And the green was an obvious fit. Of course, when we had this epiphany, at that time it was quite difficult to convince the family. It was a bit difficult to convince, like you said, what is a very traditional company. Said, okay, we are doing business in a certain way. Why do we need to change? Our customers asking us, because none of our customers did. So we were traditionally in places like Russia and the Middle East. You go and talk to them about carbon footprinting, they'll say, okay, if you can reduce the price, that's fine. So what happened was that we started the process, and I had to kind of push it and drive it through. Luckily, I had the backing of my father and some of the other members of the board. And by being able to do that, without even having a clear return on the investment at that time, I couldn't say, okay, we're going to get so much business. It just felt like it was the right thing to do, quite honestly. But having done it, now we are honestly reaping the benefits in terms of reputation, in terms of the engagement that we have with our stakeholders, our customers. We have new ways of talking about what is a very traditional product with them, our employees, and that has honestly been the difference. I can reel out statistics on the improvements that we have seen in our business as a direct result of being seen as a green company, or I shouldn't say being seen as being a green company, and that has really been the benefit.
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for more insights from our business community. You can also log on to efm.lk and lmd.lk/lmdtv for a visual experience of Biz Talk.